Launch of a new Ministry of Telecommunications and Postal Services. President Zuma said that the new Ministry of Telecommunications and Postal Services is aimed at delivering more value or deriving more value out of the booming information and technology telecommunications industry, of course, as well as the postal services sector. Joining us now from our Pretoria studios is Siyabonga Cwele, who is the newly appointed Minister of that department we've been talking about. Minister, congratulations. Good to have you on the program.
Thank you, and good morning, Leanne and your viewers.
Thank you. So, telecommunications, postal services, it's a very massive industry, and I think many people say it's about time we have a ministry that's entirely dedicated to it. Do you feel the same way?
Yes, I think the primary task really is to drive digital economy in order to ensure that it contributes significantly to our economic growth. And in this respect, we have to consolidate the infrastructure for this digital economy, particularly the fast internet and broadband rollout in the whole country. Yeah. It is in this respect that we are consolidating all the state entities which are responsible for the broadband rollout. But more importantly, we have to work out with the private sector, because the private sector, we must encourage them to also invest in this digital economy and infrastructure.
Let's talk about your main priorities, Minister. What are you going to focus on first as you enter into this ministry?
The first thing really is to expedite the policy review which is ongoing currently. As you know, there's an ICT review which is going on, so that we have policy certainty. Secondly, we have to start and expand the rollout of the infrastructure, particularly in the underserved areas, and to make sure that the public and the communities have got access to this fast internet or broadband. Thirdly, we have to assist the state-owned enterprises to stabilize, particularly those who have been having some challenges, so that they can focus on service delivery so that people have access to these services to avoid a digital divide among our communities. Mm-hmm. And also, as you know, we have to increase the access in the financial services through making sure that the Post Bank is getting its license and is able to roll out the same financial services, particularly to the underserviced areas at the moment.
Yeah. Let's talk about some of the difficulties that you're faced with as you come into this particular position. We've got Telkom that's in the process of restructuring. It's looking at cutting around about 1,000 managerial jobs. We've got the Post Office that's in the middle of an investigation by the SIU with claims of corruption and financial irregularities. These two entities, how are you planning on handling all of this?
Yeah, Telkom, as you know, is relatively stable now. If you check his share prices, the market is constantly increasing from the low levels it was. Of course, we have to make sure that in all our state entities, there is labor peace. Even if there is restructuring, we must have programs on what are we going to do with those employees, because the primary objective of this administration is to increase jobs rather than cutting jobs. If people are removed at managerial services, we have to find out what mechanisms are there to ensure that they are able to either enter some as subcontractors in the industry in terms of service deliveries, particularly to the marginalized areas. And we have to continue to assure particularly low-level incomes that they are brought in. Those technicians, we need more technicians, we need less managers, yes, fine. But those will be restructured, they shouldn't just be sent to the street. That's what we're engaging with the Telkom. Regard to investigations like in entities like SAPO and other entities under my responsibility, we fully support these investigations, but we hope that they'll be concluded soon, so that we can take action where necessary and focus on the core business of what we need to do expanding these services to our people.
And also trying to get rid of these inevitable strikes at the post office, because the post office plays a massive role in South Africa. I mean, it's one of those organizations that just, I don't think we can actually emphasize enough how important it is. And yet when you see these major strikes, it brings so many South Africans' lives to a standstill. I imagine that's something you'll be focusing in on as well.
Yes, this is one of my priorities, to engage the trade union movement in this sector, so that there is some work, peace, stability. And the post office is going to be critical in rolling out government services to the people. If you talk of broadband access point, if you talk of financial services access to our people, and other government services which can be delivered quite efficiently through the post office, South African Post Office Organization, and the Post Bank. If you take, for instance, we are engaging with social welfare to look at the possibility to distribute social grants, distribution of books, and so on. So it is important, and if we have to facilitate these deliveries to our people, that there is stability in the post office, and to avoid prolonged and unnecessary strikes.
All right. Finally, Minister, before I let you go, and very quickly, there are 4 letters that many of us South Africans absolutely adore, and that's Wi-Fi. And our lives are not complete without it. Now, everybody asking, ever since we heard this industry coming about, when are we going to get free Wi-Fi in public areas? Is that something that you're also going to be implementing, hopefully?
Yeah, like we're saying, we're consolidating all these structures which roll out broadband and the Wi-Fi services, whether is it broadband infraco, whether is it Telkom itself, whether is it Centec and USASA. We're trying to consolidate so that we can have these access points, particularly Wi-Fi access point, in urban and rural areas.
Yeah.
I think that's what is going to be important. And we increase our e-services in schools. We continue with that rollout, but more important now, engaging with the Minister of Health to make sure that the health services also utilizes this. But critically, in closing, is that skills are going to be important. Attracting young people into this sector is going to be our priority, so that we develop our own skills base as South Africa.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. Minister, thank you for talking to us, and certainly the youth know more about this sector than anybody else, because you want to fix a computer or you want to fix a television, you ask your child to do it. They'll fix it for you in a whiz. Minister, thank you for joining us. Good luck with this new portfolio. It's been a pleasure having you here on the program. This is our new Minister of Telecommunications and Postal Services, Minister Siyabonga Cwele.